remind me, what is your first name again?
Alex.
It's Alex. Okay. Alex. And we are in Sapa, Vietnam. And Alex and I met, we were paragliding buddies. And Alex lives in Vietnam, but is from England. What part of England were you from again?
Near Manchester. I'm from Warrington.
Okay, Warrington, near Manchester. We met in Vietnam paragliding, and then we built a gang, me, Alex, Ailey, and Connor.
Yeah.
Ailey and Connor were from Australia, and we all went and we were doing glass bridges and all kinds of other stuff. So anyway, truly a stranger that I'm buying a beer for in Vietnam. Cheers. And she's really cool. And I said, hey, buy a beer for strangers thing. She's like, yeah, let's do it. Awesome. She's really cool. Obviously, we went paragliding. That's not like a regular person type of thing to do. So anyway, thank you for doing the interview. Let me start with the very first question. You're very well traveled. This is going to be a fun one. Where is the coolest place that you've ever traveled to in the world?
Ooh, I think the coolest place I've traveled to is South Africa.
Ooh.
I went to my friend's wedding. So we had this like week of activities. So it was like the best bits of South Africa, the best bits of Cape Town, in like one short week before seeing like two of my friends get married.
Oh, that's really cool.
So yeah,
so it wasn't just it was like a week experience basically.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, that's really unique that you got to do that. And when was that?
2 years ago now, I think.
And just out of curiosity, because you are pretty well traveled, how many countries have you been to?
I think it's got to be around sort of 20 to 25 countries, I'd say. Yeah.
I told you, cool. Traveler, paraglider, pretty cool. All right, so South Africa, coolest place you ever traveled to. Now, question number 2. What is the best meal you've ever had anywhere in the world? And it doesn't have to be from a restaurant. It could be something like a friend made, a family made, anything like that.
Can I
beg deeply? Yeah, go ahead, take that.
Right, best meal.
The best part about these interviews is sometimes people just like pop in and stuff like that. The guy's like, hey, can we take this plate? Yeah, go for it, man. We're out just doing things, you know. There's a lot of people around us right now.
Okay, so best meal. It's hard to think. I feel like maybe when I did the High Van Pass, we stopped and I think the view was amazing, but we also had we got like a seafood platter.
Okay.
So I think a random stop in the High Van Pass was my favourite meal.
And was that the pass? You told me that's between Da Nang and Hue?
Yeah.
Okay. So maybe that's, I got to figure out where you stopped, and I have to go get that meal.
No idea where I stopped. It was just part of this like little tour, but it was very cute.
Yeah, and the best stuff a lot of times is random too. You know, it's funny. I've asked this. You're like number 13. I don't really get to answer the questions back, but I think about it a lot. I don't have my answer totally, so it's a hard one to answer, but it's fun because it brings you back to a memory of that past and that journey and whatnot. So that's cool. Seafood platter in Vietnam.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, cool. Number 3. What is your favorite musical event you've ever attended, like concerts or music fests, anything like that?
I'm not sure. I feel like they're just kind of like little sort of gig nights. Like I feel like back home in Manchester, like it'd be, you'd just go to like your friend's gig and you'd have like this like small knit community of just like maybe the event is packed out, but maybe there's only like 50 people at the event. So It's like a nice sort of low key, but still very fun gig night has been like a better night than some sort of like big concert. Like I feel like the big concert when you're in a chair isn't like the vibe. And when I grew up like going to sort of like emo gigs and like loved sort of the kind of what's it called, like mosh pit sort of vibe.
Wow. You? Mosh
Yeah. So yeah, but yeah, something like low-key gig. But yeah.
I like that answer because I usually also preface that with like, it doesn't have to be a big concert. It could just be like a street musician that you heard one night, or it could just be like a bar night, open mic thing, right? And that's exactly what you had in mind, was like a local kind of friend thing.
Your friend is playing, they've got their guitar and you're supporting, but there's still a big enough crowd so it's not just you in the audience.
There's something special about when you kind of know the talent, the artist, and whether it's comedy for me, if it's like an actual like painting artist, if it's musical artist, whatever it is, like I know them, like it hits you a little bit deeper, for sure. Love that. Okay, question number 4. Who is the funniest person that you would love to spend time with and do anything with? Dinner, coffee, drinks, and doesn't have to be an actor, comedian. It could be a family member, a friend. Funniest person that you'd like to spend time with.
Ooh, I think my granddad. So my granddad's passed away, and sort of it's been like quite a bit of time now, but like he always just had like these mad stories that like they're not trying to be funny, but just past lives of like everything and anything. And it just always ended up like making me giggle. Like it's like very cool, man. Like my like grandparents, they lived on like a street with bungalows, just quite standard sort of street, but their house was just bright blue, and like he wore like a necklace with like every religious symbol on it because he wanted to welcome everyone.
Wow.
So he's just this like big character of a man that like was funny by accident.
Yeah. That's really cool. I love that. And I love that you used the part of the question that I put out there. It's like, they could be anybody, alive, dead, doesn't matter. And it's great because I actually have a passed away grandfather that I was too young to appreciate his humor. Grandpa Tony, who's I'm actually named after. And I was a kid, I could understand why he was funny, but I couldn't really like respond back enough. Feels like I was like 15. You don't know how to like talk to people that are a little crazier like that. But yeah, I love that answer. It's like one of my favorite answers like so far. So thank you. Okay, and last question. Question number 5. What is the best advice you would give to a young traveler who's traveling for the very first time?
Ooh. I think from a position of being like a solo woman, I feel like there's an element around safety that it's like some places you've got a gut feeling of a vibe of whether you feel safe. So like somewhere like Vietnam is a place that I feel safe, but then there's been other countries that I've been to and you've just got this like in your gut feeling of questioning your safety. So as like a advice for like a younger traveller would be kind of sort of staying with groups, or like if you're already questioning your safety in the daytime, making mindful decisions when it's dark outside, because that's when things can go awry. I think I've took that one on like a serious note, but
for sure. No,
I think
it's fine. It's the question is meant to be answered. It's not meant to be what I need or want. It's for you to answer how you.
Like, don't get me wrong. Like travel, I think when I travelled sort of in my like late teens, early 20s, you're blown away by the world. And like nearly 10 years on from that, it's like I'm still blown away by the world, but I'm also more mindful about like getting on the back of a random man's bike. Like,
yeah. I think what I kind of took from that too was trust your gut a bit too. And it's a different gut feeling when you first travel versus when you're more experienced. Because when you first travel, your gut's kind of like, well, everything is scary and exciting, right? But then you start to delineate between those lines the more you travel. Where that scary is, it's a little less scary, you know. But then you start to, when it is scary, you know it's wrong, right? So trust your gut. And I would add one thing is like, if you do if you're traveling with people that you meet, still trust your gut with those people, because just because they're also traveling the same doesn't mean they're safe either. So locals sometimes can be safer than someone from your home, right? So just trust your gut, be safe. You know, that's kind of how I would take that. So I love that. Now, one last thing I do, it's the bonus question that I ask everybody that I don't ever prepare anybody for, is if there's one last thing that you'd want to tell the world, anything you want, has nothing to do with my questions, what's the one thing that you would like to tell the world?
Oh, such a broad question. Where should I take it? I feel like if you're ever like feeling sort of alone in this world, that there's always like a way through, there's always like the next peak to the trough. Anytime I've struggled with my own mental health, there's always been something to bring me back up. So I feel like if you're ever struggling, then there's always the next thing to look forward to. You just might not have reached that point yet.
I love that. That's great. And as much as I want to end on a serious note, I'd also like to say, if you're ever paragliding with strangers and someone says, hey, we should go to the glass bridge, go to the glass bridge.
Go to the glass bridge.
And then if your Grab driver goes, hey, I need to put you in another Grab because my wife's having a baby and I have to go to her, get in the other car and just keep going.
That's the gut feeling.
That's the gut feeling. The gut feeling worked or whatever. So I love all your answers. Thank you so much. You were such a pleasure. Cheers one more time.
Cheers.
Thank you so much. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you again soon.